You may have read about my next guest. He and his partners are kind of a new breed of high-tech explorers, and they found the wreckage of a ship called the SS Central America, and right now are in the process of hauling up the greatest amount of American treasure ever located. Would you welcome, please, from Columbus, Ohio, Bob Evans. Bob? Okay, before we show them the stuff, this is exciting. What is it about the treasure hunting that gets everybody excited? The idea that someday they might discover something and...
It's gold. Gold is very pretty.
Yeah, and very expensive.
And very expensive.
Now, you're from Columbus, Ohio.
That's right.
How do you get in the treasure hunting business from Columbus, Ohio?
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Well, a neighbor of mine, Tom Thompson, was an ocean engineer working in a think tank in Columbus, Ohio, and he had some experience with that. And I was a geologist and a historian, and he enlisted my help in talking about the SS Central America and thinking about ways to open up the deep ocean frontier.
You know, when you talk about the SS Central America, how do you find out? Do you find the manifests from the point of the origin or what?
The tragedy of the SS Central America, the sinking, left an enormous amount of historical information. It sank in a time when there were newspapers, there was the telegraph. It was already really an information age then.
But now, what year are we talking about?
1857.
1857.
So this is 8 years after the California Gold Rush began. And the SS Central America was ferrying a regular commercial shipment of California gold to New York City and sank in the Atlantic off of the coast of the Carolinas.
Now, were you able to determine how much gold was on that ship? Was there a
Well, we were able to determine a minimum amount of gold, which was on the wreck, because there was a very regular commercial shipment, like I said, and it came to, at that time, $1.2 some million. And we knew that that today would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
I know you don't like to get into specific amounts of what you found, but you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, right?
Yes, we are talking hundreds of millions.
Wow. And it went down...
in a mile and a half of seawater, about 200 miles off the coast.
No.
So we knew that
had other people been looking for this particular vessel?
They had been looking for it. Most of them had been looking in shallow water where it wasn't. And therefore, when we looked in deep water where it was, we were able to find it.
Ah, no. That's the difference. Go to the deep water. How do you do this? You do this with a submersible. Do you send something? Obviously, divers can't go down. How deep under the, almost what?
It's a mile and a half.
You're talking about 7,000, 8,000 feet then?
And we use an unmanned submersible. It's remotely controlled from the control room on our research vessel. It
has lights and everything, so you can follow?
Lights and cameras, so we fully document everything we do on the site.
But how could you pinpoint it? The ocean's a big place on the bed of the ocean. How could you pinpoint it?
Well, we found it with a device called side-scan sonar, which is a piece of geophysical equipment which you tow and it maps the ocean floor, and it was able to map our shipwreck along with it.
So once you found that, you send down the robot
submarine.
Okay, let's watch the monitors here. We're going to run this, and you can tell us what's going on here, Bob.
Sure. Well, here's the research vessel Arctic Discoverer, where we live for 4 months every year.
You just anchor out there?
No, we keep our position with satellite navigation and such. It's too deep to anchor.
Right.
Here we are lowering the robot submarine Nemo into the ocean, and it's beginning its hour-and-a-half dive to the bottom of the ocean. It takes a long time to get down there. Here Nemo is opening its front drawer. Where
that's down on the bottom now.
We're on the bottom, and we're opening our drawer, and you can see our tools, which we use, the baskets into which we place the treasure, and then put it back in the drawer to retrieve it to the surface. And here's Nemo's right arm about to be deployed here. We're reaching out over an area which contains quite a lot of treasure. You're about to see that, and you can see that it's a big robotic arm.
Look at that.
We're extending.
That is fantastic.
We're extending it here to, it can reach out about 9 feet from the front of the vehicle.
Is that a gold bar you're going after?
There are plenty of gold bars out there. We're going to focus in on some of that material here in a second. Here you can see some of our tools deployed there, ready to be filled up with gold. There's some gold coins shining in the foreground. Here's another perspective. See, we have several cameras so that we can keep track of everything we're doing in different angles at all times. It's a lot like a TV set in some ways. And here we're picking up a 62-pound gold bar, which is coming up from behind this rather bright, spectacular brisingid starfish. It's a 13-armed starfish.
And there's the gold bar.
And here's a gold bar we're plucking from the seabed. And as we turn it around here, you can see there's very little current. It's very calm, and the water is very clear.
That's fantastic.
And here's an animal swimming away from us, a crinoid, as we're moving it over toward the recovery
Look at the gold
basket.
coins.
Here's what we do with coins. We pick them up with a suction pick-like device and place them into the recovery trays. There's an entire, what we call a tower of gold coins. And this is an area here which we called the Garden of Gold.
Look at that.
Where gold was literally littering the bottom. And you can see how beautiful and freshly minted some of this material is, as you can see it shining.
You know what? What's this fantastic? It almost looks not real. It almost looks not real. You know, you say, my God, that's on the ocean bottom, and there are the coins. And of course, gold does not rust or anything. It doesn't lose its luster generally,
it doesn't at all.
It could be there 100. I remember when I went down with Mel Fisher off the Florida Keys. When you go down, and you find they take out a gold chain that'd been there, I think, off the Atocha for 400 years. And it looks just like you'd taken it out the day before.
Yes, gold
There's no
doesn't
corrosion. It doesn't react to the chemicals in the water. So before we show this, well, let's show this one now. This is because you saw it in here. This is a gold bar, folks.
Yes, it is.
What would be the purity of something like this? You have any idea?
It's marked on the bar. Actually, I forget exactly what the purity is. There it says the amount fine.
Now
you need to.
That looks like
flip that down.
That looks like it's about 12 inches long and 3 inches wide or something.
Yes.
And a couple inches this way. And it looks like it would be easy to pick up, right?
Well, it weighs 62
Believe me,
pounds.
it is not. This is gold and probably weighs. I think I'm joking.
Be careful, Johnny.
Yeah. This weighs 62 pounds. This is very, very heavy. Now, that has the mint on there? Does it?
Yes, it was made by Justin Hunter, which was an assayer at the corner of Battery and Merchant Streets in San Francisco.
How many of those bars are down there, Bob? Do you have any idea?
We have a lot of smaller bars. The big ones are very rare.
Right.
And there may be a few more.
Now, today's prices, which is about gold, is about $380, let's say, an ounce.
Something like that.
62 pounds, 16 ounces to a pound. Anybody know what that would be? A bar? What would
it comes to 300,000 or something like that. But this is a real historical piece.
So you wouldn't melt this down?
No, never do anything like that. This will go for many times over its bullion value.
As a historical
object.
Wow. Now, can we show some of these smaller items? I know you don't want to handle these coins by the flat part, right?
No, by the edges.
Why don't you just move that stuff out of there?
Okay.
Thanks. Now, here's some, what, American Eagles or?
Well, this is a double eagle, just like the one that we zoomed in on.
Yeah, you're just supposed to handle these by the edges, right?
Yes.
So as not to leave fingerprints, I guess, all over.
You can get them right, and you don't want to scratch any of the mint luster on them and such.
And they look like they could have been minted yesterday, right?
Look
at that.
They're quite amazing.
Look at that. What do we have here now?
These are $50 gold coins. Now, they are the largest coins ever made out of gold. Yes. Go ahead. And it's a very interesting thing. That one says San Francisco, California on the back.
They don't mint anything like this currently, do they?
No, they don't.
Okay.
It has 2.5 ounces of gold in it.
Now we have some very smaller little...
Yeah, some smaller coins and some other smaller bars similar to the other one, but these are much handier.
This is heavy itself. This, I don't know what it weighs, but it's...
It's probably on there, the number of ounces.
You don't realize how... Fine gold, 807 fine gold. Look at that. And the mint on there. What is this now? Is this just another?
Oh, it's another gold bar. A very nice shiny one. It says that it was $690.84 back then.
Wow. This is what? Just a raw?
That's a large gold nugget. It's pretty amazing to be able to find the raw gold down there as well. These are gold nuggets out of the streams of California.
Gold dust?
And some gold dust. Yeah, you can actually catch the glitter of this stuff as it comes out.
Look at that.
And we vacuum that.
Why don't we divvy up the gold each night, and then every man will be responsible for his own share? Treasure of the Sierra Madre, folks, yes. Oh, that's fat. Out of all the stuff that's down there, let's say just for the hell of it, it's $1 billion. What percentage of that have you brought up?
Oh, only a small percentage.
So you're going to be there you could be there for a long period of time.
Yes, it could be. We plan to have a real good season. You should come out and visit us.
Oh, I'd love to. I would love to do that.
You could come and sit in the control room and watch us operating Nemo.
The interesting thing is when you find this kind of treasure, gold, people show up who had nothing to do with looking for it and want to get a portion of it, don't they?
That's true.
Who will put a stake in for it. I find that very strange because they didn't put any of the effort into finding it.
Well,
The state, sometimes the government shows up, the insurance company shows up 150 years later and says, hey, cut us in, huh?
It's a strange world.
So, but you're going to get a percentage of this yourself and your partners, right?
Yes.
It's fascinating stuff. We'll take a break. We're coming right back. Look at that thing.